Tomorrow's the election. Get out there and vote. Everybody should get out there and vote. That's what we're told. In the same breath, people wonder how certain candidates can even be polling above 20%. The answer is tough. It's something that I'm not sure that people in this country want to deal with. Too many people have the right to vote. Too many people who don't have skin in the game have the right to vote. For people who are productive, for people who work hard, for people who put in their hours, do what's right for their family, don't qualify for any help from anybody, have to deal with an ever larger group of people who have no skin in the game, live off benefits, don't care what it does to the people who have to support it, and all they do is vote and cancel yours out. Which brings me to basically what the subject of this video is. What I think is the most prophetic statement, maybe in my political lifetime. When Mitt Romney said there was 47% of people who would never vote for him, is what he was referring to, but essentially a conservative candidate. We are well past 47% now, and that's who we're dealing with. There's a reason that somebody like her can poll even with anybody. She is absolutely unqualified to be president of the United States, in my opinion. And yet she polls almost even with President Trump, who isn't perfect himself, but certainly has more experience and has a great track record when it comes to dealing with other nations, dealing with our economy, dealing with the presidency. Mean tweets are mean tweets. Who cares? Grow up. Let's get a thicker skin. And a sense of humor, too. We all need to learn to laugh at each other. If we don't learn to laugh at each other, we are truly doomed. But that statement, which is available online, is one of the most prophetic statements I have ever heard. It is as relevant now as it was then. And clearly, Romney lost by more than 47%. He lost Barack Obama's numbers were considerable. That 47% was quite accurate, plus a couple of percentage points. And now we have 55-60% of Americans who are in some form or another receiving a government benefit, plus the ever-expanding federal government itself. People are not going to vote against their own meal. When you have an ever-expanding federal government, you have an ever-expanding voter base. That in itself is reason to limit the government. There's too many people who have the right to vote. When this country was founded, the founders wanted to limit the right to vote to property owners. I think there's wisdom in that. People who have skin in the game, people who have a tangible interest in the future of the country. Property ownership is one of the greatest things in this nation. It's one of the greatest blessings to humans. It creates a sense of pride in yourself and in your property. This is why neighborhoods go to the dogs, because nobody has a vested interest in making sure that their property is in any good condition. What do I care if that window is broken? What do I care if there's a graffiti on that wall? What do I care if the neighbor kids are running up and down the street? Who cares? It's not mine. But when it's yours, you care. And that goes all races, all ethnic groups. Property ownership changes perspective. It makes you involved in your neighborhood and in your community and in your nation. And I think that there's a lot of wisdom in the founder's original vision of property owners only. You have skin in the game. Now, does that mean repeal everything? No. Women obviously have the right to vote and should keep it. Who are we to say minorities can't vote? But we are in a position to say, if you have no skin in the game, why should your vote count just like mine? I pay taxes. I know you do through your rent. It's not the same. It's not your butt on the line. When your butt is on the line, it's different. Hence why property ownership is so healthy for any and all people. And why we need to really consider, who is it that's voting? Why is it that certain candidates who can't even express a policy, who can barely express a thought coherently, can poll to the same level as another candidate who expresses policies left, right, and upside down? It does make sense. It makes sense because we have given them too much say. Their vote counts just like yours. You care about your neighborhood, you care about your country, so you go and vote. You go to the polls, and what do you see? Judging people is a natural human thing. And we can look at one another and say, the likelihood of that one is that my vote just got canceled. This is true. We're human beings. We have to admit these things. It's just like being able to laugh at ourselves. We are what we are. We're human. We've given the right to vote to too many people. You have to have skin in the game. I know it'll never change. But once again, I'm just speaking my piece. Maybe something can be done someday. I don't want to hold my breath. But in the end, that's my thought. Too many people. 47%. That's something in the future I think I'm going to delve into a little bit deeper. That 47% remark, I've never forgotten it. And that was in 2012. The Daily Beast released that video. Once again, that's available online. You can find it anywhere. It's only 1:07. It is as prophetic now as it was. It's more so, considering the growth of the government. The government is probably 2 to 3 times larger now than it was then. Certainly our federal deficit is larger and our debt is gargantuan in comparison. Rambling. Stay sour.